Love him or hate him, Skip Bayless is always going to be there. If you're a sports fan, people are going to retweet him. It seems like even if you block him, he's still going to find a way on your freaking timeline. So Robert Littal is here, Denise Jones is here as well. So like my whole reason for doing this is because I just want like honest opinions on what we're seeing with like how media is, if this is a bad thing for sports media with someone who is tweeting out shit like this, like Peyton's mind-blowing mistake choosing Broncos over Niners, Titans will be greatest thing that ever happened to Tebow. Like just the deriding on Tebow. Long term, give me Josh Freeman over Cam Newton. Come on, bro. I'll say it again. Give me RG3 over Luck any day, any night, any year, any career. Again, I think Cam can be a good NFL quarterback, but I think Tebow can be a little better. Derek Fisher will prove to be a much better NBA head coach than Steve Kerr. Browns just stole a starting quarterback, Brandon Whedon, much better than Tannehill. I mean, come on, man. This is all-time fuckery, and for whatever reason, people continue to buy it. My question is why? When we know that this is like, the LeBron hate is ridiculous. I didn't even want to throw it in there because it's just a level of absurdity. I remember seeing somebody record a First Take episode, and they were talking about how great LeBron was in the finals and da-da-da, and they just won the championship with the Miami Heat. And Skip goes, well, you know where I'm gonna go. And the guy behind the camera is like, oh, please, God, no. Like everyone knows it. So like, is it more of an act that with what we're seeing and Skip knows it and that's why he's gotten $5 million a year from FS1?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
I think that's exactly what it is. And I'm sure you won't disagree at this point. I think Skip, though none of us agree with most of what he says, he proves the point that he brings something to the table that no one else can bring but him, and that's that 0.5% of an angle to an argument that everyone else might side on, and he'll give you that 0.5% that you would have never imagined, that you'll completely disagree with. And though he might be wrong, he has enough of an argument to prove his wrong point that makes it that much more entertaining. And viewership, think about it. Where else are you gonna find a Skip Bayless who's gonna put his persona on the line just so people can talk smack to him? You know how difficult it is to constantly, everywhere you go, have people negatively, throw shots at you, and you're just like, yeah, I'm getting paid $5 million, so.
Yeah,
I think that's all.
That helps.
To me, there's two separate medias that are happening right now. There's like serious media, that does like the real work.
Right.
And then you have the entertainment sports media. That's not about accuracy. That's not about facts.
No.
That's about getting a reaction.
Absolutely.
Skip Bayless is the king of the hot takes.
The most hated man in sports.
He talks, when we were younger, back at the 7-Eleven, they would call it barbershop talk. But as we've gotten older, it's social media talk. Like when I was at the barbershop one time, somebody was having an argument about how Kobe was bad at Duke.
What?
Exactly. Like a true argument about Kobe was horrible in college. He went to Duke. They didn't win a championship. Nobody cared.
in high school, man.
Exactly.
What the hell?
Exactly. Nobody cared. It was a heated argument. It
was a heated argument.
It was a heated argument.
That sounds like barbershop talk.
Right. Exactly.
I'll walk into a barbershop and everyone's just like talking more than an actual beauty salon, and I'm just like,
yeah. So you got Skip Bayless, and Skip Bayless he's just talking. I don't believe. One time I saw Skip Bayless at a sushi place. And I said, hey, Skip Bayless, how you doing? It's Robert Little, Black Sports Online. It's like, hey, I know you, Robert. I said, I just want to tell you something. Like, listen, I'm not hating on you because you're making $5 million and everything, but you're the Vince McMahon of sports media. He got so mad.
That's so accurate.
But I took it as I was telling him as a compliment, is that you are a performer, an entertainer, and you've made it work for you. And I read Skip Bayless books about the Dallas Cowboys when he wrote for like the Dallas Morning News when I was in college. So I'm not saying, he put the work in.
Back in the day, he was really legit.
But like Stephen A. Smith and those guys, they put their dues in. They put their work in, but they realized that to stay relevant in media, they had to change into these hot takers because that's why they had the job. Look, you guys wouldn't invite me on if I wasn't talking about big baller brand.
Yes, we would.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't. If I didn't have good shirtless jokes and stuff, like it's part of it is entertainment. Part of it is like, you know what you're talking about and everything. But nobody's gonna watch a YouTube video if we're not being funny and
because they could get that. There's so many other sources that they could. You're right. They could get it from absolutely anywhere. So,
but real quick, something that we do though is we tell the truth. Like that is this airwaves that we're on right now. But this is the channel. We are truth tellers in sports. We tell it like it is.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not though. You said it was a performance.
It is.
I agree that it's his truth because that proves my argument. He brings that 0.5% that's missing, and though we might disagree with it, it's a point you never imagine in the scenario. So he stands by his argument, and though he makes the wrong argument, he has enough backup to prove that argument.
And I don't blame Skip Bayless. You know why? Because nobody forces you to watch or follow Skip Bayless. Nobody forces you to watch Undisputed or watch First Take.
Do you watch it?
No. Well, sometimes I watch for Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It could be anything.
Sometimes, but that's what I always used to tell people all the time is people to ask me like, did you see what they said on First Take? Did you see what Skip Bayless? You know what I would say? No. Because I don't care. Like it is not a knock on Skip Bayless. I don't watch stuff. I don't do stuff that I don't really care about.
Right.
Because to me, if you're engaging with him, then it doesn't matter if you agree or disagree. He has you. I say the same thing to people that come to my site. Your site sucks. Well, you had to be there. I mean,
there are people who leave comments that are like, "Oh, why are you guys always talking about LeBron?" It's like, dude, you just clicked on the video.
Right. So that's why my issue is never with the Skip Baylesses of the world. I've never had a problem.
Supplier.
Yes, look, it's the user. Like you own your remote control, you own your laptop, your internet. You can watch whatever you want to do. People like sometimes I would watch wrestling. We talked about wrestling. You're a grown man. Are you watching wrestling? Like, are you paying the bill? Do I come to your house and say, why are you watching, the 500 rerun of Martin? Like
great show.
I don't. Great show. I'm just saying, like the point is each individual, you can like whatever you want to like. Like I don't watch the Kardashians. I don't watch Real Housewives. I don't watch Love and Hip Hop. But if they getting rich off of it and people are watching, more power to them. But I'm not gonna say, hey, you stop watching Love and Hip Hop. You're a lady. I'm not gonna judge you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because I've been conflicted with this, and I know that it's wrong, but it's just my opinion. I don't like, 21 Savage. I don't like Lil Uzi Vert. I don't like the style that they're rapping. I know it's a different thing and a different era that we're in right now with younger rappers coming up and mumbling. Like Lil Boat. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. But to validate something that you're saying, like more power to them because they have an audience for it and people like it. But at the same time, I have gone on Twitter stupidly and I've been like, I don't think any of these guys are great. We talked about this. I respect Nas. I respect Eminem. I respect Jay-Z. I respect Brother Ali. I respect Gangstar. I respect those old school hip hop artists. And I respect J. Cole and Kendrick. I think they're great. But the new up and coming artists, I've gone on Twitter and said they are not good. This is a trash genre. I don't know what is going on with hip hop. So try to help me, I guess is what I'm saying.
Help you understand why they're great, or they have an audience?
To Robert's point about don't hate on them because they have an audience and don't hate the supplier.
It's hard on social media because if you say you don't like something, automatically people think you're a hater. And that's a social media thing. It's nothing really you can do about it.
You can apply that to life.
Yeah, you can dislike.
There's so many people that didn't like Jordan, and when he was at his prime, it's like, oh, you're.
I think it's perfectly the sign. You say, something there, lose, 29 Savage. Yeah, it's not my thing. I don't like him. I think it's trash music. Whatever. I don't like. Listen. I think Cardi B is funny, but I'm not all hyped up on the songs that she has. Now, don't hate me. I think it's cool, but it's not. I'm not like. I'm not. I think it's as long as you're not, in my mind, wishing failure on someone. That's a big thing on social media. I hate them. I want them to fail. I don't like them.
I don't want them to fail.
Right,
I'm just saying for me personally, it's just not my thing.
No one's conflating The Onion with New York Times. They're both sources where they have journalists reporting and writing articles, but one is clearly trying to be a path, like a blazer in the genre, and one is just kind of there, floating around. I think hip hop's very similar, and a lot of commentary is very similar, where some people are just there for the entertainment, but some people are trying to be the path blazers and the ones that are really informing the masses.
It's like movies.
I don't think saying one or the other is
But I think these new rappers, just to end that statement there. I think the new rappers serve a purpose because they're translating the same message that the Nas's of the world,
for
their generation. And though I'm not saying that, oh man, 21 Savage is the next Nas. I'm absolutely not saying that. But I'm saying that the way that he's understanding life and the way that he's connecting with his audience is special, because he's able to translate that message into a way that his audience, his listeners can easily listen to. Now, I'm not a huge 21 Savage fan. I'm not a huge Lil Yachty fan. I'm not a huge Lil Uzi fan.
I like Little Uzi, bro.
But I can appreciate the way that they market.
He does that little dance.
Not my thing.
He does that dance.
I can appreciate the way.
I know, I don't like
I
that.
can't take you seriously right now.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do Lil Uzi right
I can appreciate the way that they market themselves, that their team markets themselves, and the way that they feed their music to their audience. Now, correlating this with Skip is he's able to find one fan base, and even though that fan base is angry at him, they're waiting to see what he's gonna say next.
So it's a shock value thing.
So he found a way to make it work, and though it's negative, it's still going in the same direction he's in. They're in the same boat he's in, and they're not happy, but they want to be miserable with him, and that's fine.
A really simple question that probably requires like a broad answer, but is it good for sports media?
I think so. I think you need as many perspectives as you can, and sometimes it causes for a heated argument, and sometimes I feel like talk is always better than no talk. So I don't agree with Skip's points. It brings up an interesting conversation.
I tell young journalists, because people say, that's not real journalism. Like, if you want a job, you might want to look into that.
You just have to adapt.
You have to, the most important thing is find what works for you.
Absolutely.
Some people can't be Skip Bayless, they can't be you, they can't be you, me, or whatever. You can't be the next BSO, you can't be the next Young Turks. You gotta be the first you. And I think sometimes, just like music and anything else, people are trying to follow the trend instead of figuring out their own lane. Big baller brand. Just want to get that out there. But I think, Skip, there's spaces for everybody if you just be, yourself. Everybody can't be like Skip or Stephen A. I'm not a screamer, even though I just scream. But I have a creative way of saying things. But I don't have to yell. I don't have to, I don't have to hate on anybody. I'm a lover, not a fighter, and everything. So it's not bad for media, no matter what media people tell you. It's just, like you said, an evolution. You just have to adapt, like you said, to the changing times. And now, it's not, writing 10,000 word, stories anymore. It's getting out. Like I tell people now, like when I started, it was simply blogging. We just wrote the stories. That's all we could do. Now you got to be on Instagram. You got to do Snapchat. You got to talk. You got to see your face. You got to do stories. You got to do so much more. But the crazy thing is, it's all free, more or less. You can get, like, you don't have
net neutrality.
I went to I went to college. Before I got student loans and stuff. Like, if right now, if I was 19, 18 years old, I might not do all of that. I might just say, I'm going to start a site. I'll start a YouTube page. I can make $500,000, whatever. There's multiple ways to get into media now, and a part of that is because of the Skip Baylesses showing you that you can be an entertainer. You don't have to be a hardcore, journalist. You don't have to be an investigative journalist. You can just be funny, and that could work out for you.
So when you told him that he was Vince McMahon,
yes,
his reaction was
he was not pleased by it.
Wait, what was his face expression?
So here, I'll set the scene. We got time. I'll set the scene. So I'm at the
we got
sushi.
like 1 minute.
1 minute. I can do it in 1 minute.
1 minute, and then we gotta go.
All right. So I'm at the sushi place chilling. And there's Skip Bayless with a young lady. I'm not going to say who the young lady is because I don't want to get nobody in trouble.
But you know her.
Yeah, she's from.
You just said he's with a young lady, so you might have got.
No, I didn't get nobody in trouble.
He actually said from.
No, I didn't get nobody in trouble. So I'm eating sushi, and I'm with my friend, and my friend like, hey, that's Skip Bayless. I'm like, yeah, I know who Skip Bayless is. She's like, you should introduce yourself. I'm like, the man's eating. He's like, no, he's going to walk. Okay, so he walks past me. And I say, hey, Skip. How you doing? My name's Robert Littal from Black Sports Online. You guys use some of your stories on the show. He's like, hey, I know who you are. I know the type of, the work that you do. We follow along with you. Some of the producers like. I'm like, oh man, that's great. I appreciate you saying such a nice things for you. I know a lot of people hate on you, but personally, I think you're like the Vince McMahon of sports media. You really get people, going. Yeah, this big personality. He just he went from like complimentary to like, he didn't say anything. He just kind of stared at me. And I said, I didn't mean it as a, in any disrespect. I think it's it's a good thing. He's like, well, have a nice rest of your meal.
Awkward.
Awkward.
All righty. We're out of time. We appreciate everybody watching. We'll see you soon.